Hey guys, welcome back. Now before you start this video, you need to go to DashClicks.com and sign up for your free account. Just jump in, you can explore it. Don't take too much time exploring it because we're going to use that software for this course. Don't worry. By the way, have some fun, but don't worry because I'll connect the dots for you and you'll see how this ties in beautifully into this training course. Okay, so go ahead and join. Before you continue this video, make sure you have your account. If you have your account, let's continue. So what I want to go over in this video is the criteria that you need to that is going to determine reasonable pricing for your marketing agency. So what is even reasonable pricing? Okay, so think of it this way. You're a marketing agency, whether you're established or just starting, you're going to go after a certain niche target audience. You need to figure out if your pricing is market value for that audience you're going after. Okay, you don't want it to be priced too high because no one will buy it. And you don't want it to be priced too low because you're not going to make enough margin. So you got to think of it this way. It breaks down into two areas. How much does it cost you to service a client well? How much do you have to charge on top to not only cover that expense, but make a profit, enough profit, a healthy margin, so if you need to continually offer service to that client, you can fund it. And if you need help, you have enough margin to hire new people and scale or new software. Is that price now reasonable for my niche market? Understand? So let's just dive deeper into those two areas. The first area is your overall operational cost. What is an operational cost? Good question. It's actually a bunch of different stuff. Let's just jump into a few of these operational expenses. So the first one is office expenses. Do you have furniture? Do you have equipment? Do you rent? Do you have maintenance? Merchant fees, office supplies, do you buy staples? All that stuff is office expenses. You need to put that into consideration. Letter B is production expenses. So this is like if you offer SEO as a service, social media posting, you want a social media posting software. You want an SEO keyword research tool. Those are production expenses. You have to do sales when you have a marketing agency. You need a CRM. That's another expense. So list all that out and determine what your production expenses are. Because all that goes into servicing a client, including an office. You work from the office. You're using that office space to service clients. Letter C is workforce costs. So that's salaries, perks, benefits, insurance, training expenses, and bonuses. Are you outsourcing? Are you hiring people? What does that look like? The next one is business setup fees. So you're a business and you got to make sure you have all your legal stuff in order. And to do that, there's, licensing fees and corporate taxes and attorney fees and accountants and bookkeepers and consultants, and there's way more. When you get into business, you understand there's just a lot going on there. And the final area is additional expenses. And this is just anything like you might run your own marketing campaigns. Okay, so that's additional expense. You might travel to visit clients or go to conferences or speaking engagements. Accommodations. Clients might come down to see you. It could be anything. This will take time. Don't rush it. If you're just starting off, you might not have most of this. But at least write down what you do have. If you're paying for a CRM or an SEO tool or whatever it is, take your time, get it figured out. And even if you're established, you might be spending $100,000 on office space each month, but still, if you get all that figured out, it's going to help you make more clearer and better decisions on how to price. And actually, not only how to price, but you will actually help your business out and really maximize your margins if you're able to go through all this stuff. And also, to be frank, it's also a good business rule of thumb. Knowing your expenses, knowing your profit margin, knowing what you're charging, knowing what's coming in, your revenue, your net profit, your gross profit. That's just good business practice. You should just already know that. Okay, number 2, agency pricing model you want to implement. So you've determined your expenses. Again, take your time. If you need to rewatch this video, I recommend you do it. Once you get your expenses figured out, you need to figure out the agency pricing model you want to implement. How are you going to charge your clients? There are a ton of different ways. And this kind of, what you choose sort of, you kind of can choose whichever you want, honestly. Whatever fits best for what you're trying to do. And whatever product or services you're offering. So you can charge hourly, $50 an hour. We get paid when we do the work. If we don't get paid when we don't do the work. You can do project-based, so start to finish, we'll build your website. Retainer pricing, recurring pricing, we charge monthly. Performance-based, they don't pay you until you offer results to them. Value-based pricing, customized pricing, you only offer quotes. This is something to really think about because you don't want to charge a certain way. You don't want to get your expenses figured out. You don't want to not have your expenses figured out. You don't want to just wing this, and then as you start getting clients, you realize, oh, this is a bad idea. This is not working. And now you're stuck in a client contract, and that could be really messy. So take your time and go through this and figure out really what kind of pricing model you want to use with what you need to charge to make a healthy profit margin from your expenses. Are you able to, does that work in this pricing model, whichever one you choose? So go through all this and take a look. I'll also add a link to this blog so you can go through it and reference this whenever you want. So here's something that I want to show you as well that kind of puts things in perspective. This chart is showing you the average prices of digital marketing services in 2021. So you can see right here, it says stream. It says SEO, PPC, email marketing, social media marketing, web design. Okay, these are the services. Then it says these are the average charges that agencies charge their customers. For SEO, it's anywhere from $300 to $20,000 per month. The reason I'm showing you this, by the way, before we continue, is just to give you an idea that not only are these possible numbers that you might be using, especially in like the spectrum, but if you're going towards like a general market and you just want to know, like, am I in the right ballpark? This is a good chart to kind of determine if you are in the right ballpark or if you're just way, way too low, under market value, or way, way over market value. So it's kind of just good bumpers to just stay in between and give you an idea of what people are charging in the market. So SEO, $300 to $20,000 per month. PPC is 5 to 20% of monthly ad spend. Email marketing is 1 cent to 5 cents per email, and minimum email sent is $300. Social media marketing, $250 to $10,000 per month, and web design, which is $2,500 to $100K. Actually, I know this is average, but I mean, sometimes people spend millions on websites. But anyways, so this is going to give you a little spectrum on where to start. The last thing I want to go over before we end this video and we jump into our next video where we start going over services is a good way to see this kind of visually, to understand all this stuff all this information I gave you, is when you're determining your price, you want to follow this formula. Determine your cost. What are your expenses? How much does it cost you to service the client well? Now, you have your expense. What is the markup we're going to put on top? Costs $100 to service a client for SEO. We're going to mark up $100. Your price is now $200. Okay, so whenever you're doing your expenses, whenever you're trying to find your markup for your margin, your cost or expense plus your markup equals your price. So go ahead and click through this blog. Again, if you haven't signed up for your forever free DashClicks account, you have to do that, because in the next video, we're actually going to go over why you want to do this, how it pertains to your services, and that sort of thing, because we're actually going to use DashClicks as the software, or actually as your white label fulfillment. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.